Hello and welcome to Route 22 video log. Today is December the 18th. I did make a video yesterday. It was a lot colder yesterday morning and I was on a nice little trail in Massachusetts. On another one in Rhode Island today, and my camera is finally working. So I figured I would take a nice little video and just show you guys what's going on. So right now, I'm just hiking. I'm guesstimating maybe around 21 degrees, 22 degrees, something like that. Definitely below freezing, but yesterday morning it was brutal. Couldn't even hold the camera without having to keep switching hands for my gloves. And I apologize for that really crappy video yesterday. I did come across a very large deer yesterday morning. It scared the living daylights out of me. I was using my cell phone to take all the videos, but that didn't really work out too well. So I didn't really get any good pictures of it, but after some deliberation about the size of the deer, I'm guessing it was 6-point male. Not too big. I originally thought it was an 8-point, but then upon further remembering and research, an 8-point buck would have been much larger than that. So 6-point. In any event, it was less than 15 feet away from me, and could have gotten in some big trouble there, but thankfully didn't get into too much trouble. Let me just show you where I am right now. I'm on part of the Autobahn trail right now. Pretty nice. It's overlooking the river. Now you can't really see through here. One thing that I want to talk about is that there's a lot of really beautiful areas that we can go hiking and walking and experience the outdoors, and it's just kind of a shame, I feel, that some people take advantage of the fact that they are out in an area where there's not really a lot of people, and they exploit that, and they start fires and graffiti and wild parties, and I'm all for having a good time in the outdoors, but you have to respect it. You can't be drinking and smoking and starting fires. That's not what you do. It's disrespectful to yourself and to the earth. If we want to keep these areas open, we really have to respect them. As a matter of fact, last year or the year before, there was a fire in these woods, and I live right across the street from this trail, and I noticed that there was flames probably 150 feet away from my front door. Someone started a fire, and it took the whole forest, really. I'm just glad that they didn't burn the whole thing down, but a lot of it was burned down. This is part of the river that I come in on my kayak. It's pretty difficult to get right there, middle of the screen you can see. It's pretty difficult to get through this pass because during the summer there's a lot of algae and there's a lot of plants that grow very thick and very close to the top of the water. But it's a pretty cool landing spot. Not really a lot of fish in this river, mostly because of pollution. Then again, what I was saying about respecting the earth. You gotta be careful what you put into the water, what you drop in the water, what kind of bait you use. If you're a fisherman, as I am, you will see baits that say, not legal in California because of lead. I try not to use those ones because there could be lead in there, and I don't want to poison the water. I don't want Rhode Island to become like California with all the pollution. Interestingly enough, I have been hiking and exploring for quite some time. When I was younger, I did a couple of things I probably shouldn't have, and I ended up getting a BB gun for Christmas, and had fun with that, completely supervised. And a few years later, I inherited a 30 or 40-year-old pellet gun. at like 1,000 feet per second, and I really enjoyed it. It's pretty cool. But I took that, and I was young, stupid, went out in the woods, target shooting and whatever else, and that's when I really discovered that I love the outdoors. Oddly enough, I was doing something I really shouldn't have, but I discovered that I loved the outdoors, and I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to hike, and I wanted to camp and fish and hunt, and I wanted to protect these lands as best as I could. And I wanted to try and educate people and learn myself about how to better protect the environment, how to better protect this. Because before we started industrializing the entire world, this is what we had. If you were cold, you bent your tree, and you hung your leaves, and you burned the wood to make flame, to warm yourself, to cook your food, and you lived off the land, and you thanked God for everything that you did have. And now, we want food, we go to the freezer, myself included. I'll grab a chicken patty and throw it in the microwave for 10 seconds and I'm good. I want to break away from that. Part of the reason why I'm making this, I'm starting these vlogs. I really want to break away from that, and I want to get back to nature. I want to get back to where we should be. Not completely industrialized, but, you know, at least know the earth and have a respect for it. One thing you'll find me do is checking the weather every single day. People at work, they think I'm a weather nut. You know, like, you know, you're on your first date, and you're like, oh yeah, well, the weather has been changing, da-da-da. Well, we live in New England. Stupid. The weather's always going to be changing. And that's normally what people say to me. You know, like, why does this kid care so much about the weather? Well, I've been studying the patterns the past few years, and when I was 8 years old, I remember, between the ages of 6 and 8, we had very hot summers, very dry, hot summers. Not a lot of rain. And when it did rain, it was a thunderstorm. And the winters were brutal and cold, snowy. It started snowing in late November. Didn't stop until May. You know, like, that's a winter that I remember. Snow days every couple of weeks. You know, crazy stuff. Now, that's unheard of. Last winter, we had a couple of pretty good snows, but, you know, nothing compared to what it used to be. And I began to wonder why. You know, what's changed so much about our world in the last, I don't know, 12, 15 years, that our winters are changed, our summers are changed, our entire weather pattern for the whole year and all the seasons have changed. And I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to think of it. And some people might say, oh, global warming. Well, if there's global warming, you know, like, why do we have such a crappy summer? Why was it so cold in summer? Why was it always raining in summer if there's global warming? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't global warming mean warming? Not, you know, gonna freeze you? I don't know. I mean, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about that kind of thing, but mainly I'm just a little confused as to why the world is acting the way it is. I don't know. Right now, it's freezing. It's freezing. It's like 20 degrees. Clear blue sky. Beautiful day. I mean, it is beautiful today. I love it when it's like this. I mean, it's freezing and I'm really cold, but just the fact that you can see the world that we have to live in, all the beauty of what is growing around us by the grace of God. I mean, it's awesome. And I love it. I want to be an environmental police officer when I get out of college. I'm in college for law enforcement right now. I want to take that and work in environmental policing, protecting all this. And I know I'd mentioned it in the video yesterday. But, you know, I already told you a story about how my camera was frozen and everything else, but I really like all this kind of stuff, and it's just fantastic. Well, I think I've gone over the 10-minute mark, and I don't want YouTube to shut me down or not accept my videos, so this is the end of part 1. Thanks for joining me on my first walk video log. Rubu22 signing out. Have a great day.